So right now I have a Fishman pickup that goes down my harp and out the bottom, and I'm gonna need to take that out. So that's the first thing we're gonna do. Gotta take this bad boy off. Okay, I'm not really sure how this is gonna go, but I'm gonna try and use a knife to kind of pry off this Fishman pickup. I wish I had tiny little hands. That would be awesome. But yep, there it comes. Looks like I didn't even damage it either, which is kind of cool. Because possibly someone else could use that. So it looks like this dusty pickup is similar, but they don't use tape. They're gonna use glue. We're gonna try it out with some tape and see how it goes. Anyway, that was fairly easy. Okay, so they've given us the template, and actually they gave you a little tool, so I don't have to use this sewing ripper or stripper, whatever you call it. But I'm gonna poke holes so I don't damage the floor in the middle of these crossed areas, making sure there's enough room for a pencil to go through. Nice hole there. Go down to probably what's going to be nearest to middle C. This is where my other one was located. They have you put it right slightly lower near middle C, but it used to make a lot of noise. It was really hot when I play in that kind of fifth octave, fourth, fifth octave, last part of the fourth octave. Anyway, trying to get the holes big enough, and then we're going to slide it into the body of the harp. So not so hard. I think I'll probably sharpen my pencil before I start. Let's take a little towel. We're gonna run it along, because mine's probably dusty. All of us probably have something going on. It's kind of damp. It's not wet, that's for sure. Now it's gonna stick on all these things. So I'm gonna use their handy dandy little tool and push this up the harp so that I get everything nice and clean, or at least wiped off. And I might do it one more time before glue happens. Okay, now let's try this again. I may just stick this in right here because I can grab my base, put it down there. And now I'm going to inch it up towards middle C. All right. So now you can see, oops, almost lost you. Don't know why that scared me. But I really want this right in line. And then we're going to make our marks. Hope you can see that. Now I've got a sharp pencil, making sure my middle C is right on target. I'm just going to bring my hand down and secure it. And draw a little hole. Put on near middle C. Now watch. That paper moved. So I just lengthened it with both hands. Now I need to put my pencil in my mouth, just a sec, to mark the base. One. Now I'm going to go back to middle C, make sure it's still there, and then tighten and go up and do the top two. sure that the paper doesn't have any sort of slack in it. Oh, that's a problem. My wedding ring is getting in the way. Okay, got that tightened down. I know you saw the paper move, but my finger is on it and it's nice and tight. So, I've got my marks ready to go. Okay, now we're gonna feed the harness in. I have it going into the bottom sound hole first. This may not be the best idea, so let's try it from the end, which I have the camera in the way. All right, let's see how this is gonna work out. I'm gonna move the light around. All right, here goes nothing. You might see this on the right side and this on the left side, but we're gonna do our best here. Good angle. It's kind of nice because I can watch too. Something's caught. There we go. It keeps going. It's got lots of space. Catching on the little strings. All right, so I'm gonna let the pickup lean at the bottom as I kind of move around inside. Your shiny pickup pads are eventually going to be glued down. So, sorry, shiny versus the black. So that about does it, just making them in place. Now we're going to try and position these short clips. These are actually pretty, sorry, dusty strings. These are pretty cheap plastic clips, but they must be plastic for a reason. And it says we want to have this along the soundboard lining. Let's see. Orient the chamfered corners. Unfortunately, these clips don't actually have those weird corners that they mention. They're just straight up squares or rectangles, actually. So they want you to mark on the left-hand side of the harp where the clips can be located. They tell you that they don't want this to touch the soundboard. I can totally understand why that is the case. So you want to have your clip kind of here. I assume for the bass it's going to be up here because the soundboard's way down here. That's really interesting to look at all this stuff inside. All right, so I don't really need a spacer for the bottom one. I'm just going to sort of line it up here and think, all right, that's going to go right about there. So that should be good. We'll just put an X. X marks the spot. Okay. And we'll go along here and we'll look at the one that's near our middle C. So harder to get your hand in up here for sure. But if we want it really low, for me it comes at the top of where the soundboard comes out. So we're just going to place an X here and an X up here and one more at the very tippy top. All right, so my X's are all set. Now, go back to the directions. They want you to go for it and press that clip into the space. So one thing I haven't done, and I will slightly do this before, I'm not going to use a terribly damp cloth, but I'm just going to wipe, make sure that's going to stick really nice. I don't know if I can get in there. I'm going to use their tool again. I can understand why you'd want to clean off. So this is slightly damp. Just a little. Enough to kind of take off any dust you might have. I mean, gosh, if you're spending this much on a pickup, let's do this right. Right, guys? All right, so I don't want to erase my X's, but I probably should have cleaned this before. I didn't think about that part. All right, there's that. And one more up here. It's going to be a little harder. All right, now that we've got that off, that wasn't really dirty at all, but I could have picked up some dust that I didn't know about. So let's go for it. Oh shoot, I think I put one of these. Oh yeah. Sorry, put one of these little clips down. That was a bad idea. Okay guys, I'm taking off the sticky. I'm gonna find my first X and I'm going to really firmly place it here, making sure it's not touching anything. All right, there's one in. Let's go to the next. My hands are gonna get fatter. Arms, I should say. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, number 2's in. Let's go for number 3. Not sure if you're seeing all this, if the focusing is off now. This is getting tricky because my hands are getting so big. I don't know if this is gonna work great. But let's try. I've got some needle nose pliers. So I am going to use those. That worked really well. I can push my hand in and kind of firmly push it down, make sure it's really on. And we're gonna go to the top. And we're going to place the same way. I'm going to use my needle nose pliers because my hand's a little too big for this. And I'm going to find my X and get it as close to the board but not touching the center. All right, that's in. Press it down. All right, we're looking good. Next step. All right, let's put those grommets in. Let's see if I can do this with my hands. I'm not sure. I might be able to. Those are, I have what we call man hands. I'm not sure if that's appropriate. I'm sure other people have big hands. All right, these grommets are really well lined up because this one is catching just where it should. Although it's catching too good. All right, there we go. And then the first one, see where this goes. All right. These in. Okay, sorry about that. I can see why no one's done a video on this because this is really not easy. All right, so this one looks like my spacing might be slightly off. But let's see if I can get it in. Let's see what I need to do this. I'm going to put the bottom one in because it wants to catch. So let's see if this one will go in. This one seems a little off. Maybe my marking was a little off. So I don't know how that's going to work. All right, so that one's off. So, meaning it's incorrectly positioned. All right, so fixed the tape issue. I'm not sure why this didn't line up right. I'm actually going to put the grommet on first if I can, because then it'll line up properly. All 3 of the other holes. Oopsie. Man, this is hard to do with big old hands. Just need to pinch this to get this open. Sorry. And I probably don't want to watch this part. Okay, now we're on the grommet. I'm just going to try and turn it around so that it's properly lined up for the board. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Yay. All right. So that now when that goes on, it's gonna be good. All right, so I found these at Ace Hardware, and I wasn't really sure how removable they were, but they're pretty not super sticky. The guy at Ace Hardware was like, try those 3M things. I'm like, I don't know. So I'm gonna give these a whirl. I think they're gonna be really great. And there's 4 in each pack. There's a million. So yeah, here we go. So I'm gonna generally put them in the place where the mark was. And I'm gonna put this bad boy on the pad. All right, there's one. And the second one's right about here. The third one's getting sticky because my hands are so big. Haha, sticky. That was very punny. Yeah, okay, so this is where it gets real interesting. I'm gonna use their fun stick because this is what I'm gonna do when I put the pickups down. I'm gonna put that guy. Look at how awesome that is. All right, now I need to actually put the pick one. There we go. And one last one. All right, so I basically put it on the nose of this stick. And it's a bit fat. Oh. There we go. Stick between my, there we go. All right, so we've got some pickups on there, and they're not permanent, but. Okay, so I have this clamp that I'm gonna put on, so I don't have to drill a hole right now, but if I'm happy with everything, then I may have somebody else do the drilling, but I don't mind a drill. Anyway, I am using their stick just to measure. They want that internal nut to be a 1/2 inch from the opening. So that looks exactly right. We'll see how this works. So I'm gonna place that in here, and that nut fits in. Not sure if you can see that. Inside there, there's some, there's actually a hex shape that fits the nut. So on this side, we are gonna put on a washer. I call it the front washer, and the front nut. Looks good. I give you a tool. I'm not sure that this tool, oh yeah, it does fit in between. Thought I was gonna have to go get something else, but I'm gonna tighten that down. So that feels good. And by the way, from their picture, I wasn't really sure, but I left this back plate on so that'd be ready to put in the harp. I think that was the right thing to do. They don't exactly tell you that, but I think this feels tight enough. And once the nut is snug, they say to get rid of the extra washers, which is kind of funny, but we're gonna reinstall the cap nut, which is what you actually insert your 1/4 inch into. It doesn't have really that much space, but there we go. It says should be flush with the face of the cap nut in order to assure a good fit. So this is a little strange to me because it doesn't go all the way to the top, and they say 1/2 inch. So I'm thinking that that's maybe not right. So I'm gonna redo this. This doesn't seem right to me because there's only, I don't know if you can see that. I think that should be a 1/2 inch, right guys? I don't know. I'm picky, but I like things done right, and I have no one to ask, so I'm just gonna do it my way. and hope that that is a good way for right now. Oops, there it goes, bye-bye. It's a good thing I have stuff on the side of the harp to catch it. There we go. All right, so I'm not exactly sure how I'm supposed to measure this, but here we go again. I'm gonna say about there is right. Let me measure just for Pete's sake. So it's not an inch. It's about 3/4 of an inch, maybe not entirely 3/4. So I'm gonna give that a whirl and hope, okay, so that fits nice and snug. Put my washer back on and reach over for that nut that went flying. And we're gonna try this again. Wish I had like a speed up option. Maybe I do. Maybe I can try a speed up. Need some background music. Maybe not harp music, that might drive me crazy. All right, that is snug as a bug in a rug. Now let's give this a whirl. And that looks pretty darn good. I like it. Flush. Good. So maybe that was supposed to be 3/4 of an inch. Who knows? Once it's all done, they say to attach the clamp, turn the thumb screws counterclockwise to open or clockwise to tighten. Yes, good old saying, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. The clamp does not require tools. Great. So I'm just going to place this lovely thing probably pretty low here. I don't know if you can even see this over there. Let me make sure. That's, because I'm gonna have to get my fingers in here still in this base hole. So I'm gonna just go for each side. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, right guys? All my students better know that. If they don't know that, I'm definitely not doing my job. I think it's one of the first things I teach, especially first lesson when talking about tuning. We always talk about righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. All right, pretty darn snug. Looks awesome. All right, so I have my temporary pieces all in there. I've got my jack ready, so now here we go. We're gonna give it a whirl. Okay, we have so much equipment in here, but I just wanted to show you what I've got. So I'm gonna attempt to stand right in front. I've got my amp on a chair just so it's close to me so I can figure it out. But I wanted to show you, I actually, even though my amp has a preamp in it, I use the Fishman preamp, and I'm not real sure that it's great, but I've used it for a long time, and now that I'm just getting into this kind of stuff, who knows, maybe I will upgrade. But this is called a Fishman Pro EQ2. I bought it a long time ago, so they may look different. Another thing I want to tell you about is cables. One thing I read a lot about cables a long time ago. I buy what are called Mogami cables. They're gold plated and they tend to have better sound. So the jack that I've just set up, I'm going to put a 1/4 inch into my preamp, into the input, and then I'll put another 1/4 inch into the output, and that 1/4 inch goes into my preamp. Something to have on gigs that you can have for your output, which would be great, is this 1/4 inch to XLR. DJs love this. Typically their boards like this better. Don't ask me why. I've done research, but I don't understand it. So anyway, here we go. We've got preamp and a preamp. I know it sounds crazy. All right, going in to the new jack that is nice and tight, which is good. I am gonna get a different shaped one so it doesn't stick out the back like that so much. That goes into the input, okay, because your sound is going from your new pickup into the input, and that's what you can adjust. Then from here, we need an output that goes into our amplifier. All right, let's turn this bad boy on. We've got power, I've got sound, and I can mix from the preamp, or I can mix from here. So I'll turn some sound on. And I don't even have... Oh, that's really actually working. Can't even tell if that's on. So I can't really hear it, which is not a great thing. I wonder if those temporary pads are too far away from the soundboard. That could be. Let's see. I'm not really getting anything out of it at all. So that's not great. I'm going to test it out a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to start testing out my super glue. So I'm going to use this paper clip to open it because I want to be able to throw whatever it is away. So I'm going to poke a load of holes into it. Open it up. All right. On this paper strip, they give you a bunch of practice dots. So I'm going to squeeze enough. 1, 2, they say kind of, let's try that again. They say less than a drop. So I'm going to do that one more time. For me, it feels like kind of a drop. A little less than that, or a kind of one. So try out your squeezing methods. Now that I've done that, I don't want that to dry too much. I got some of this stuff that we used to use in college. I don't know. It's like tacky stuff that you can put stuff on the wall and just take off. It's not permanent. Doesn't really last, but they recommend, instead of your hands, because it's really hard with your hands, to have something else to touch the pickups with and kind of pick them off the ground, and then you can apply them. But they want you to use a timer for 2 minutes as you hold it down. So we're gonna give that a whirl. I am gonna try and get a hold of this guy. Now I've got him. I'm gonna place my glue just like they told me, kind of 1, 2, oh, it has an air bubble in it. Awesome for the first one. Here we go. I'm a little nervous. All right. My timer has begun. Okay, we're gonna try this again. Now that we're all glued in, whenever you plug in, make sure that your volume levels are nil. Otherwise you're gonna get a big old sound coming back at you. So I'm praying that we've got some sound this time. I'm gonna point this at me. It's like so understated. It's incredible. Let's see if I can really launch it up. Yeah, that sounds good. so much sound. Let's see, that is near. Not so good. Hi, it's been a while since I've done that last recording. I've gone through Christmas season and I've tried out this new pickup. It's the most beautiful, clean pickup you can find, and it provides so much sound that I actually haven't used my preamp much. I have this speaker here at home, and I actually bought a little lighter weight speaker made by Bose just for out and about gigs, not for sound quality. So I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit more, and hopefully you can hear it a little bit. But a friend of mine has done a great video on this pickup to show you all the different sounds that this pickup can produce. So have a look. I'm going to provide you a link. Buzzing in the middle. I don't really know what that was. We tested out a bunch of things on the actual pickup itself, tried out different speakers, tried different ways of playing it and different sound qualities, but the buzzing's gone, clear as day, no problems whatsoever. I highly recommend this pickup. It's going to give you so much more power and really clean sound. So enjoy!